am Pam from Weymouth Food Pantry, and tonight we're presenting our Living Pantry, a series of easy meals that you can cook at home with the help of Riddle from Patricia's Palate, and we have on hand as well Chef Brian, who has joined us the first two episodes, and a special guest tonight is Chef Jared. So Pat, what can you tell us about what we're doing here tonight?
We're going to do a couple of healthy burgers tonight. Brian's going to do an interesting mix of turkey and vegetables in a turkey burger. He's going to do that on the grill, and I'm going to do a chicken burger in a pan. Jared's going to do the salad for us. One of the things that is compelling about poultry is that it's bland. And so we're going to put lots of flavor, lots of spices, lots of infusion into our burgers tonight. It'll help us eat more healthy, and this is just one guide for you. You can change this up any way you like. We're going to conquer our kitchens with whatever we have tonight.
And I would like to thank Chef Brian for offering up his backyard tonight to cook our turkey burgers. Thank you.
Entirely welcome.
So a couple tips and tricks for on the grill, and again I want to reiterate what Pat said, is that these recipes are so flexible, and that's the point of us sharing them with you. If anyone has ever used a food pantry, you'll know that ground chicken and ground turkey is frequently on the menu. It's a super healthy protein, and this is a way to pump up the flavor and make it a fun night, right guys?
Absolutely. Let's go.
We're excited.
All right.
So now that the torrential downpour has ended in our backyard, we are ready to get started for our living pantry. Tonight we're making a myriad of healthy burgers, and first we're going to start off with walking over to the grill and showing you how to get this grill nice and hot. I like to take an old rag that I have that's clean and soak it in some vegetable oil and brush the grates. What that's going to do is keep our burgers from sticking. Now that that's nice and hot, we'll move over to assembling our burgers. Today we're working with 93% lean turkey burgers. I really don't recommend going with 99% lean because it's going to be too dry. And even 93% lean, we're going to be adding shredded carrot and shredded zucchini that we use with our box grater. And these also are right out of the garden. So we're going to dump that in. And also we're adding a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. If you don't have Parmesan cheese or don't care for it, you can use shredded cheddar, blue cheese, anything that you have in your pantry. Anything goes, no matter what it is, no matter what you like. And we're also going to add a little bit of salt and just mix this up. So this zucchini and this carrot, because this is again 93% lean, is going to add a lot of moisture. So when you cut into this burger, it's going to be nice and juicy. You could also add other flavors to this. If you had it in your pantry, you could add ginger, you could add some soy sauce, you could add some sriracha if you like it on the spicy side. Again, like Pat said earlier, anything that you have in your pantry or whatever your liking is, it totally works. So now that this is all incorporated, I also have here a little water and olive oil to kind of keep this burger from sticking to my hands. So we're going to make a nice patty, and if you want to do sliders, you can make it a little smaller. We're doing probably about a quarter to a half a pound burger here. We've got about 2 pounds of turkey here, which is going to make, again, depending what size burger you want, 4 to 6 burgers. Once we get these set up, we're going to put a little indentation in the middle of the burger, kind of like a little thumbprint. And what that's gonna do, you just kind of press in the middle with your thumbs. And what that prevents is the burger kind of bubbling up in the middle and you've got this huge mound in the center. This kind of makes the burger evenly, you know, the size all the way across. All right, we're ready to grill.
While Brian is doing his turkey burgers on the grill, I'm going to show you how to make a chicken burger in a pan fry scenario. Not everybody has a grill, or sometimes if it's raining, like tonight, and we got rained out, we might have to go inside. So pan fry burgers is just as good as a grilled burger. So we're gonna get started on the chicken burger. I'm using ground chicken. You can use any kind of ground chicken. That it doesn't matter if it's 99% free, whatever you find, whatever you have. And because poultry is just so bland, we're gonna add a lot of things into this chicken tonight. For me tonight, we're gonna add in shallots. And if you don't have shallots, you can add onion. I'm gonna add some butter, again, because butter is gonna keep the moisture in this chicken. I'm gonna add some fresh oregano. You could add other herbs and spices, you can leave it out, but it makes these bland poultry so much more tasty. Gonna add some pepper. And the star of the night is sun-dried tomatoes. Lots of flavor, and we wanna keep the moisture in this chicken. So we're gonna add some of the packing oil from the sun-dried tomatoes themselves. And if you don't think that you have enough here for your family, you can stretch this. You can put breadcrumbs in it. You don't have to, because we've added so many things here and we're gonna keep it nice and moist and tender. It'll make a tender burger. But if you wanna stretch it, you can add breadcrumbs. You can put an egg in if you think you need some binding, but we're not gonna need that tonight. So now I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna mix all this up. Our chicken, our herbs, our sun-dried tomatoes, our butter, get everything mixed in. And I'm just so happy that it's not raining. I'm gonna do a method similar to what Brian did. After we get everything incorporated here, then I'm gonna make some burgers. And I'm gonna put a divot in the center of them as well. And while I'm doing this, we'll let you pan back to Brian at the grill.
Our turkey burgers are coming along awesome. If you can zoom in here, you can see that we've got some moisture coming out at the top of the burgers. That means it's time to flip. And since we see how easy it is for that spatula to slide underneath, that's the benefit of greasing these grates before you start grilling. So if we didn't do that, we'd be digging this spatula to try and get under this burger to try and flip it. So look how simple that is. We'll flip that over and keep grilling. So now that these are flipped, we're gonna let them grill until we get a meat thermometer in there to 165 degrees. So these burgers are done enough so there's no bacteria left in the burgers. On top, we have some buns grilling. Pat has made some homemade potato sesame seed buns. And with my burgers, I'm using a brioche bun. So once all these are done, we'll plate them up and it's time to eat.
Hi everyone. So like Pat mentioned earlier, we're going to make a very fresh summer corn and sugar snap pea salad. So if you want to come over here, we'll show you some of the ingredients that we're working with today. We've got some chiffonaded basil. We've got a little lemon juice and apple cider vinegar that's going to go with our olive oil to make our dressing. We've got some scallions that we'll chop up and a little serrano pepper. And then we've got our snap peas from the garden. So first to start, I'm going to show you all how to cut the serrano pepper. So this is an optional part of this salad. If you like spice, feel free to put this in. If you prefer something like a jalapeno, you could do that. Maybe a bell pepper if you don't like spice, you could add that in as well. But today I'm going to show you how to cut, seed, and devein the serrano pepper. So first you can just start by cutting the end off, and then you want to try to slice it down the middle here. So we'll just give it a nice slice. It's not always going to come out even, and that's okay. So when you seed the pepper, be very careful, because these seeds here contain what we call capsaicin, and that's what gives the pepper its spice. And you don't want to touch the seeds and then touch your eye. That will leave you in a whole lot of pain. So just be very careful and take a spoon, and you can just come on in and scoop out the seeds and the vein, just like that. And then we're going to come back over here, and I'm just going to give this a little bit more of a chop to reveal that part there, because I didn't cut that super even. So like I said, just being careful of where your fingers are and what you're touching. Come on in with the spoon, take out the vein and the seeds here. And if you have a couple of seeds in there, that's okay. That's not a big deal. So we'll call it a day with that. So then come on back in here. And you're just gonna slice up the pepper, maybe some nice strips, and then we'll cut down. Just a little something like this, and remember, like Brian taught you before, keep your fingers curled in. Don't want to cut your fingers while you're doing this. Great, and same thing over here, a couple of strips. And we'll just chop this one down as well. So as you're doing this, you can go based on your comfort with your speed here. If you're comfortable with a knife, you can go a little faster. If you want to go a little slow, that's okay too. Just make sure that you're being careful not to cut yourself. That'll be the most important part there. So we're going to take this little bowl here, and we're going to put our peppers in here and save that for later when we assemble our salad. Alright, so next we're going to chop some of the scallions. So these are scallions here that we've washed and trimmed the tops off already. So we're just going to clean this board, get rid of some of these seeds here real quick. Awesome. So similar to before, you want to make sure that you've got your fingers curled in, and then you're just going to chop down some thinly sliced scallions. So for this recipe, we're using about a half a cup to a cup of freshly sliced scallions. So we'll just call that there, and we'll take our bowl here and just move these back in. And again, we're going to what we call mise en place. I know Brian's talked about that before. We're just going to get all of our ingredients in place, and then we'll put everything into the bowl later to assemble our salad. So next I'm going to show you how to cut the corn. So in here we've got a large bowl, just a plain bowl, and then you want to take a smaller bowl and put that right upside down inside of it. And we've got some great corn here that we've grilled. So you want to peel it back, you want to take the silk out, and then soak it in water for about 10 minutes or so. And then you want to move these over to the grill for about 20. You want to get some of these nice grill marks that you see on here. Get it nice and charred. If you don't have the opportunity to use fresh corn, you can use frozen corn, you can use corn out of a can. So any of those options work. You're going to just peel back some of the husk there, and then you just put your thumb there and break the end right off. And then you're going to place the flat, or mostly flat end of the corn right on the bowl. And you're just going to take your knife and slide it right down the side. And again, go with your comfort level on your speed. You don't have to go fast. You can go as slow as you need to. You can use whatever size knife feels best for you. But this is a great way to catch all of the corn kernels as you're cutting, because otherwise you're going to have corn kernels all over the place. So it's a nice way to trap all of the kernels as you're cutting and get everything contained in one bowl. So I'm going to take a few minutes here. I'm going to trim the rest of our corn and get the rest of our ingredients ready for our salad. And then going to head over to Brian and check on the burgers.
Into my skillet, we're doing my chicken burgers here. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning at this point and put a little salt in, and maybe a little more pepper here. My salt and pepper kind of got rained on to me. So we're going with the flow here. And when we flip them, I might put a little bit more on the other side as well. We're gonna let these sizzle away. And tonight I'm gonna make these burgers with a finishing touch of arugula and a little smear of goat cheese. And we're gonna top it off with some balsamic reduction sauce. But anything goes in your kitchen. So if you don't have goat cheese or you don't like goat cheese, you can use mozzarella or cheddar or American or Swiss. I'm just giving you one thought on this burger. We're trying to just, again, add lots of flavor to get this chicken really flavorful for you. And I did the same method in cooking these in the skillet as Brian did. I made a divot, which will make them cook more evenly and won't make them puff up. So we're gonna let this simmer a little more, cook a little more, get a good sear on one side before I flip it to the other side.
All right, so the burgers are cooking away. We took the opportunity to take our corn off the cob. So one of the other main ingredients of this salad are the sugar snap peas that come right out of our garden. So we've already done a little bit of prep work, but I just want to show you how to go ahead and peel these. So these are fresh off the garden. So good technique is just to put your thumb in the back and pull up, and then you're going to take that string right off there. You should take that little piece off as well. So I'll show you that one more time. What I like to do is just put my thumb right there in the back, pull away from you, and then you pull that string right out. So what we've done is we have taken these sugar snap peas and we have placed them in a pot of boiling water for about a minute to a minute and a half, but you really don't want to go much longer than that. And then I've done what we call blanching. So I take the peas right out of the boiling water and put them into an ice bath. Just some ice cubes and some cold water, and that stops the cooking process. So you don't want the peas to overcook. You want them to stay nice and crispy. So we're going to assemble the salad, but before I do that, I'm going to, perks of being outside, just drain these peas real quick.
Nice being outside, right, Jared?
Absolutely. You know, Mother Nature gave the grass a bit of a water already, but a little extra couldn't hurt, right? So now we're going to assemble our salad. We've got this nice big bowl here. So we can just take our snap peas that we've drained, just give them a little extra bounce to make sure the water's off, and place those right in our bowl. And then we've got, I said, 6 ears of corn. And we've doubled the recipes tonight, so you could use 3 ears of corn, or you could use the full 6. I'll use a spoon here and just put these right here in the bowl.
I love the rustic part of the corn where you've got a few kernels stuck together, they're not all separated, just
Absolutely.
screams backyard barbecue.
You got it. And you've got the char, so you know you're tasting the grill, but you've still got the freshness and the sweetness of the corn too.
Absolutely.
Can't really go wrong with that. All right, we're gonna take our scallions. These go right in the bowl as well. And our serrano pepper, remember that was cut earlier, and just put in the same bowl.
I'm looking forward to that heat.
Love the heat. Absolutely love the heat in this salad. Remember, bell pepper, jalapeno, anything you want will work in this. So now that we've got the salad ingredients in the bowl, we're going to take an opportunity to make our dressing. Our dressing is a pretty simple vinaigrette. So what I've got here is a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. I've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to pour that right in. We've got about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of fresh basil we cut earlier. And about a teaspoon and a half each of salt and pepper. Just go ahead and put that right in the dressing as well. And one of the easiest ways to mix up a salad dressing, if you don't want a bowl and a whisk, put it in a little jar, just give it a nice shake. So we've got the dressing all nice and mixed. Go ahead and just put some of this on the salad here. You can put all of the dressing in. You can put some of the dressing in. You can do it in a little bit first, and then if you want more dressing, go back and add the rest later. I think we'll go ahead and just add all of the dressing in. And just come on back over with a spoon and give it a nice mix. So you see you've got the color of the corn mixed in with the snap peas. You've got some of the scallions, the basil. The basil smells so fresh. It's really a very, very nice salad. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this plated up onto a nice platter, and we will enjoy this when we eat our burgers.
So our turkey burgers have come up the temperature to 160 degrees, and I brought them up here just to keep them warm so they don't dry out. Now we're gonna go over and make our mayo, yogurt, lemon, basil sauce to go on these burgers to give them that nice tang and moistness and just pop that we put them on these buns. So here we go. We're gonna start with half a cup of mayonnaise, half a cup of plain yogurt, which is going to give it that tang. If you don't have yogurt, you could use sour cream. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Again, that freshness is going to make the protein in these burgers just pop. And to that, we're going to add freshly chiffonaded or sliced basil right out of my garden out front. And we'll mix this up. You can add a little salt and pepper to this if you want to give it a little bit more flavor. You can use a whisk. Just mix it up in a bowl like this until all these little flavors and oil come emulsified and come together. Once this is mixed, we'll go over to the grill, grab our burgers, and tonight we're going to be putting them on that brioche roll with baby spinach. I think this recipe actually calls for a baby bib lettuce or romaine, but again, like Pat said, whatever you have in your fridge is what rolls, especially when you're outside at the grill. All right. These are ready to roll. Yeah. And again, even if you wanted to throw a slice of American cheese or smoked Gouda or anything on these burgers just to kick it up a notch, entirely up to you. So we bring this to our cutting board, put some of this sauce on there. The smell of this is just screams summer.
I can smell it from over here, Brian.
Oh man alive. So now we're gonna take this bad boy and cut it in half. That nice warm brioche. And look at the juice come out of that. Can you see that juice? Let's go. All right, we're gonna plate these up. Pat's gonna plate her burgers up, and then it's time to eat.
So I can't stress enough how important it is if you're cooking with poultry that it be cooked to 165 degrees. And I have tested it with a thermometer to make sure it's at 165 degrees. And our alternate method is to take a knife and check the center to make sure that it's not pink, that it's cooked all the way through. Now that we can trust on that, here I'm gonna let our burger sit for just a second. Turn this off. And we're gonna build our burgers next. I've smeared our potato sesame rolls. We're gonna add our nicely browned chicken burgers. I like that color. The color is so important. The flavor is gonna be so good with that.
So Pat, what did you smear the burgers with?
Tonight we used goat cheese because I just wanted to kick it up a notch. But mozzarella, cheddar, American, as I said before, whatever's in your pantry, whatever you like, whatever your flavor palate prefers, that's what you're going to use. Once we get the the burgers on our cheese to get that burger kind of melting that cheese, whatever you've chosen. We're gonna add some greens. And tonight, because we had arugula growing in our garden, we're gonna add a little arugula to our burgers. And again, if you prefer romaine, or if you like bib lettuce or red lettuces, whatever you like, we're gonna add that. Tonight, it's arugula. Get back on there. The finishing touch tonight, the sauce that I've prepared, is a simple one, just using balsamic vinegar. Put a third of a cup of balsamic vinegar in a saucepan, turn it up to boiling, then turn it down to simmer, and we are letting it get thickened to the point where it can be saucy. You can see that that's the sort of viscosity that we're looking for, almost like a syrup. And if it coats on the back of the spoon, that's when you know you're there. So now we're gonna take it off the heat. We're gonna drizzle a little bit of that balsamic reduction all over our burgers. While that burger is melting the cheese, getting all these flavors married together here.
You had me at hello, Pat. That looks amazing.
Be a great combination. You've got the peppery of the arugula, you've got the tang of the goat cheese, the sweetness of the balsamic.
And then bite. Oh man, let's go.
It's a party.
Okay, we're gonna cut one open and see what it looks like here. What do you think?
Look at that juice.
Look at that sun-dried tomato, all the herbs that are in there. It's still really moist and juicy, ready for us to dig in. Time to eat.
So we're dished up, backyard barbecue style, we're ready to eat. And of course that's the time I show up, because I'm smart, after they've done all the work. And you know, I just want to say thank you once again to Brian, who has a beautiful backyard, and was a very gracious host tonight, especially because minutes before we started filming, there was a great big downpour, thunder and lightning, 2 inches of rain. All the tablecloths got wet, everything got wet, the menus, the recipes, it all got wet. So it was a bit of a scramble. We started later than we thought we would, but here we are. And Jared, I'd actually like to turn over to you tonight. You could tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure.
You get to talk while I eat.
Well, let me know what you think of the salad once you taste the bite. So I born and raised in Weymouth, went to Weymouth High, and I was in the culinary arts program. So I spent 4 years in culinary arts, learning how to cook and bake. But I've also been cooking since I was 3, which has been an absolute passion of mine. So really enjoy getting the opportunity to be in the kitchen, especially with Pat and Brian, or the backyard kitchen, whichever you prefer. So yeah, that's a little of my culinary background.
Awesome.
Jared's done some events with me, as mentioned before, has Brian. We have a lot of fun together. One of my mottos is always work hard, play hard. So
Absolutely.
even though we had a curveball thrown at us tonight, one of the things that we say often when we're working together is we need to have grace and flexibility. And tonight with the storm, we had a little bit of grace and a lot of flexibility, or vice versa.
Yeah, we've, I think, got footage somewhere of us under hugging an umbrella. So I have to say, the salad is amazing. I would have been a little nervous to add hot pepper, but it doesn't taste super spicy. It just adds a very low-grade kind of heat to it, and it's really good. So, good job.
Yep, and again, we were trying to concentrate on things that were coming out of our gardens, and especially our living pantry garden. And snap peas were in that garden, and arugula and some of these things. So we're just trying to suggest that there are ways for all of us to get out of our ruts and get out of that, you know, the place that we always go with just a burger, a regular beef burger. And I think the flavors, Brian, that turkey flavored burger, it's just so flavorful. Love it. Love the salad too.
And then to concur on the downpour we had tonight. Sometimes when you're in the kitchen, it may not be a downpour. It could be, you know, a pan catching on fire, or you're running a gas on your grill. It's those times that we have to adapt and overcome, especially in the catering world or in the kitchen world. You just move on to something else, and sometimes that's how great recipes are created. That, gee, this went to a disaster, but I had to use this ingredient instead, and actually this meal came out pretty good. So don't get, you know, disheartened if things don't go right in the kitchen. There's always a plan B. It's your world in the kitchen, and there's always something else to do. So it's just a joy to be in the kitchen and making people happy, and it's fun.
It's always about gathering people around a plate full of food anyway. How we celebrate, how the best memories are made. I've tasted both of these burgers, by the way, guys. The mouthfeel with that goat cheese is unbelievable for that spice of arugula. And this turkey burger has such a smoky flavor. It's really delicious. So absolutely encourage you to just be bold, as Pat says, when you're cooking with poultry. Don't be afraid. Throw in whatever you want, give it a try, because I just don't think you can go wrong.
You can't. It's just something different, something fun, something new.
And healthy.
And healthy. And healthy.
But I'm going to finish off by telling you, if you grow peas in your garden or arugula, they're so easy to grow. You just need a bare patch of soil. You sprinkle the seeds, water it well, and do it early in the spring. So usually in March, that's a good time to plant these things, and then we will be harvesting by early to mid-June. And depending on how frequently you harvest, especially the peas, you can be picking all the way into July. So it's a little seed that gives a lot. So I encourage you to try that at home too. All right.
Really excited that we were all able to be together, and we hope you join us next week for our 4th episode. We're going to be featuring pasta and pestos. It'll be fun.
Can't go wrong with that.
Not at all.
No, there's lots and lots of different ways for you to make a pesto, lots and lots of creative ingredients that you can use, so I really hope you'll join us. Bon
Absolutely.
appetit.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.